can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way.
Hey everybody, welcome to the video and welcome to the channel. We're going to be discussing sourcing today and why I think it's the most important. It's a pretty simple answer, but first hit the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and bell notification. So, with that out of the way, sourcing is important because if you don't have any products to list, you're not making anything. So, I was watching a YouTube channel, a video the other day, and someone was saying that listing's the most important. And yeah, listing is pretty important because how are you going to get your money, right? And most of us here, you know, resell online, primarily eBay, and that's primarily what I talk about is eBay. So you got to get listed in order to get paid. So you got to get those eyes, you got to get people looking at your items. But if you do not have the items to list, you have nothing. So you gotta be able to source consistently. I mean, if you want to be consistent, if you want to, if you want to do this full time, if you want to, want it to be a considerable amount of income for you, you're gonna need to find some consistency in listing, consistency in finding. Sourcing, and consistency in finding items. So, so within the realm of sourcing, it's incredibly difficult and incredibly complex. Three main areas that I primarily focus on. I mean, there are other ways to source. You can source online. You can go on eBay, source on whatnot. You can go through Facebook Marketplace. There are different ways to source. And I've sourced through Craigslist in the past before when I was primarily doing computer parts, computer stuff, computer tech, and toys. I would go through Craigslist to find huge collections. Now, it was very inconsistent, but I was only doing it on a part-time basis. It wasn't my full-time income. And so now it's pretty difficult now because a lot of people know what prices are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just when you're trying to find inventory, you're trying to get a wholesale rate, and everybody out there is trying to get a retail rate. And so it makes it a little bit more challenging. But the three places that I talk about, flea market being my number one, my top one, where I get most of my inventory from. Goodwill, another great place where I do get quite a bit of inventory, not as much. I probably could get more if I went to more Goodwills, but I pretty much keep it to a small select few Goodwills to get some really cool, unique items that will sell well online. And then there's garage sales, which I don't do too much of. I do occasionally go to a garage sale here and there, but it's too inconsistent for me. Let's touch on, garage sales first. What's the problem with garage sales and sourcing there? First of all, garage sales primarily on the weekends, especially around this area. Saturdays, Sundays. As a matter of fact, I came across a random, and I'm going to lump estate sales into that as well, too. I came across a random estate sale on a Wednesday one time, which was kind of odd and out of place. Pretty uncommon to see an estate sale or garage sale during the week. The only other day which I have seen garage sales and estate sales is on a Friday as well. But that's kind of like, stretching out into the weekend. So that is not uncommon. Not uncommon, yeah. More common, Saturdays, Sundays, primarily Saturdays being the big day. A lot of people, have things they're doing on Sundays. They have, maybe they have a church service they go to on Sundays. So Sundays are a little bit more, a little bit less than Saturdays when it comes to garage sales. Now, I've talked about this before. You have to go to a lot of garage sales to get anything, basically, to even get started. From my experience, it takes at least 10 garage sales until you hit one that has some decent product. Yes, you're gonna find those those days where it's just garage sale just has great items, but that's far and few between. Too inconsistent for me. I gotta keep it steady and going. The people that you see primarily doing garage sales, they also have other things going on as well too, or they might and I believe other people have talked about this, is that reselling is their part-time and they have other stuff going on, be it another job, be it social media. So it's not necessarily their full-time. And I don't really believe you can make, garage selling full-time just due to the inconsistencies and due to the area that I'm in. Could be different in a different area. I'm just talking about where I'm located. San Jose, California. Don't know if I mentioned that. The garage sales are just too far and few between, and you know, it's just a lot of driving around. So then you're talking about gas, you're talking about, you know, your car, obviously, and wear and tear and stuff like that. So that's when then you gotta start taking that stuff into consideration, and plus the time that it's taking you to drive around to all the different spots. You know, you may go from one neighborhood to another neighborhood to another neighborhood. You may try a different city at one point, and at that point, you know, you spent your whole Saturday driving around everywhere. I don't know. Personally, I don't like to go driving around, spending all this time driving around and striking out most of the time. Goodwills. Goodwills in my area are really good, and I know that Goodwills are not good in every single area. You know, we visit Texas. You know, we have a lot of family in Texas, and I go out there, and the Goodwills are nowhere near as good as around here. So, but granted, I only have a limited amount of time there, so I really don't know scheduling wise. You know, I talk about on my other channel, Gem Flipper, about how, you know, certain days I go to certain Goodwills, and, you know, you've kind of learned like which Goodwills restock on what days, which ones are taking down stuff, and, you know, taking down items. You know, senior days are usually just flooded full of people. There's sale days, so then they start reducing inventory to prepare for sale days, so that way they can bump up prices a little bit. So you kind of learn all the different patterns and everything in your area. So when you go to a new area, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to learn new patterns and all that. But just from my experience in going to Texas, the Goodwills aren't that great, or the thrift stores aren't that great over there. So, you know, I don't know if anybody from Texas can comment down below. Let me know if you guys have had different experience than I have. I've been to Reno. Reno, amazing Goodwills there. I mean, we have had some crazy good scores out of Reno. We have family up in Reno as well too, and we go visit up there, and the Goodwills are packed full of stuff, and we have had some great scores from just a limited amount of time. Again, we're not studying these Goodwills like we do around here. We're not going on scouting missions, trips, seeing which days are better, which days are not better, what time of day should I go. We're not doing that when we're going visiting places. We're just, boom, we're showing up on the day, and if they have stuff, they have stuff, and Reno was surprisingly incredibly profitable when it comes to Goodwills in Reno. I'm pretty sure it'd be the same in Las Vegas. I haven't done any thrifting in Las Vegas, but it appears to be a very lucrative spot. Now, I've gone to other little cities, smaller cities around my area, and they're just not as good as my area. So Goodwills were really, thrift stores, I should say, were really dependent on area to area, you know, how good they are. Are you going to have to travel somewhere else? Then there's Goodwill bins to throw into the mix as well too, because you can get really great prices at Goodwill bins. There's one Goodwill bins up north of us in South San Francisco. There's another one down south in Salinas. And so bins, you know, provide a great opportunity to get a lot of inventory at a very low cost. But, you know, is it going to be quality merchandise? I mean, I find a lot of mall brands, which definitely do sell, and I can get at a really great rate. So do I just sell low end and do high volume? That could be a thing as well too. So, mind you, this is all going through my brain. This is all about just sourcing and what you have to do, and, you know, where you have to go. You may be able to just to go within about 5-mile radius of, you know, your home base, wherever that's located. 10-mile radius, 20-mile radius. Sometimes you go to another city. Sometimes you drive an hour or 2 hours. I know people that drive hours to go out sourcing. Flea markets. Flea markets, in my opinion, are the best places to go to source. It is basically, consider it like a garage sale in one location. Multiple houses bringing stuff in one location. You still run into the same problem where it's going to take about a little bit more probably, because everything's very condensed, depending upon the size of your flea market. You know, it's going to be more like 15 vendors or so before you actually find something great. But you're driving to one location, you're parking, there may or may not be an entrance fee, so you definitely have to take that into consideration. Around here, the most is like $1.50, so, you know, like I say in my other videos on my other channel, I'm already starting on the whole $1.50. So we gotta start finding profitable items, make that money back. Every dollar counts, every penny counts. But you drive to one location, and then you go out and you start walking back and forth. And, you know, when you're first starting out at flea markets, it might take a while to learn the lay of the land, learn, you know, who has what, because different people, you know, there's a lot of people that bring just everything. They're like, you know, what we'd call everything sellers. They just bring it all. There's a lot of people that are very, very specialized. Some people just have electronics. Some people just do clothing. Some people do collectibles. Some people, you know, do like household products. And, you know, some people do glass. So there are people there that are very specialized, and there are people there that just bring everything and boom, there you go. I prefer the people that do locker room buys because, you know, you always find some great items in there. It's just, I don't know if it's just luck or what, but I tend to find great items with people that buy lockers, and I get great prices as well too, because they're looking to move product. They already have lockers lined up. They're buying, bring it to the flea market, bring it to the flea market. So they're like, let's go, let's get this stuff moved. I'm pretty sure they would like to avoid dumping fees, because there are fees for items you find. Locker buyers, you know, there's a lot of waste and there's a lot of dumping that goes involved, and there's fees associated with that trash. So they would love to just move everything along, make something on it and move things along. Obviously make profit as well too. So with the flea market, you're going to a single location. Now, how good that flea market's going to be is really going to be dependent upon your area, and you're going to have to be going out there doing scouting missions as well too, seeing what flea market. There are several flea markets in my area. There's a big one that everybody knows about. It's called the Deanda Flea Market. It comes by once a month, though. It's only once a month, but it has some great items. It is a pretty decent sourcing opportunity. Not one that I particularly like because high prices. So there's other smaller flea markets that I've been to where I've had some great deals before, and then sometimes I just completely strike out at those flea markets. The one flea market I feature in my videos on Gem Flipper is you know, the flea market I go to all the time. I've been going to it since I was a kid. It probably even, you know, times I don't even remember going, but it's a flea market I've been going to. I've had family members work at that flea market, and it's just consistent with the amount of, it consistently provides product that I can list on eBay, and that's what I'm looking for. Consistency. So not just consistent in listing, not just consistent in shipping, you got to be consistent in also sourcing, and that's a big variable, because, you know, sometimes you might not find a garage sale that's great. Sometimes the thrifting at Goodwills or thrift stores is not going to work out. You know, the one that I have seen very consistent getting product out of is the flea market, and I get the most product out of there. So those are my thoughts on sourcing, why I think it's important, what can you do, what can you take from this, you know, is find a good sourcing, what we call a sourcing route. Basically, just find places where you can source at, be it thrift stores, be it online, flea markets. Those are the three places that flea markets, garage sales, and thrift stores, Goodwills primarily, are the three that I primarily focus on, and that I definitely recommend. Based on my experience, based on where I am at, you're gonna have to do your own homework and, you know, search out these places. You know, search out different thrift stores. Maybe there's no Goodwills around you. Check other thrift stores. You might have to drive if you're determined to do this. You know, make this a significant income or a full-time income. You're gonna have to put in the work. It's still hard, no matter what it is. It's gonna be hard work. So hard work. It's all hard work. So if you're trying to find an easy way to do this, there is no easy way. It's hard work. But once you get into a routine, it becomes second nature. All this stuff's going through my brain, you know. Yeah, I talked about one of my other videos where, you know, one item, I'm making incredible profit on one item, but then I had to do a big refund. So all that stuff's going through my head, like, you know, as I'm sourcing too, I'm like thinking, like, you know, what's the return rate right now? What's, you know, oh man, I sent that item out, and, you know, they're saying it's broken now, so it's gonna be a refund. And, you know, if I get something home, is that gonna be broken? Or maybe you accidentally knock something over, that's gonna break. So all this stuff's going through your head. So sourcing there's a lot involved in sourcing. Yes, it's one of the best parts when going out there to find great items, cool items, especially when you get big, you know, get some big scores. But there's a lot. It's hard work. So let's look at some what solds now. Okay, welcome to the second half of the video. It's the next day for me. I was having some issues getting the pictures I wanted. One of the pictures, I includes the full title of the listing, and I wasn't able to get to that. I usually do the picture on my phone. I just take a screenshot and I, shrink it down and, put it in the editing, in Adobe but it wasn't letting me get to that screen anymore. I'm not sure. I know there was some updates that occurred yesterday. I had an issue while I was trying to list an item. So I'm including a little something different. You'll see the picture. You'll see, you won't see the other pictures that are in it. They'll be like tiny. Well, you'll see them because they're real tiny, but you'll see the other pictures I include with my listing. And you'll see the shipping cost as well, too. So I hope that helps. I think it could be helpful just to know what the cost of shipping is. And because if you go into the post office, try to ship out a package, the cost is wild. So we do get a discount on eBay, and it's pretty significant in my opinion. Shipping costs still, it's a little bit higher. I mean, it's because I operate on eBay all the time. I'm used to these lower shipping costs. And anytime they up it, which they did, a couple months ago, it was kind of like, oh my god, it went up $1. So but in the grand scheme of things, if you go to the post office, try to ship something, it's wild, the prices. But nonetheless, we're always trying to get lower shipping cost overall. That includes the box, the packaging, everything. I use a flat weight system, so as opposed to a flat rate system. So all my items that I purchased, they all fall into a certain weight category, and it does come out to where on the most I probably get about $1.50 or so more in the shipping, or earn in the shipping, and that goes to the cost of boxes, packaging supplies, all that stuff. You can do add a shipping, like a handling fee, but I do believe that kind of does deter buyers, so you might as well just build it into the overall shipping costs. Also, don't forget that eBay does take a cut of that shipping cost as well too. So they take the shipping cost plus the cost of the item, or what the buyer paid for the item, and then they take their fee out of that total. So be aware of that. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the what solds, and I hope the information is, a little more information I'm providing helps you guys out as well too, or you just enjoy it. Okay, it's going to be a little bit harder because I can't see I had to do part of it on the computer, part of it on my phone, and I'm not sure. I'm not going to be able to. It's just a little bit difficult for me seeing the price or what I paid or what the buyers paid for items, but we'll get through it. And I'll get used to it, hopefully. Right off the bat, Belvedere vodka. If you watch my other channel, you see when I do pick up Belvedere, it's a little bit more rarer. You'll see I find more Grey Goose items. And we're talking about vodka, spirits. I find a lot of Jack Daniels. So some of the lesser known brands can, command a good price on the secondary market. Belvedere vodka, personally, it is my favorite vodka. I'm not a huge vodka guy, but if I'm gonna have a nice, little vodka drink, a little bit of vodka over ice with some little lemon, that's really good in my opinion. Really nice, cool, refreshing. I'll go for Belvedere vodka. That is my of choice if you guys are curious. But the Belvedere vodka, and I do have some of these glasses in my collection already, but I found more. $33.26 is what we sold both of these for. So look out for the lesser known brands. Belvedere vodka, I'm assuming is a little bit more of a top shelf or higher. By shelf, I mean, it's usually like top of the shelf, and usually top of the shelf is your more expensive brands. And I do believe Belvedere vodka is considered a top shelf. Okay, then the next item here is a metronome, and it's really cool. It's just kind of like a little ticker, just goes tick, 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 kind of like a timing thing, and $35 is what that's sold for. Definitely be on the lookout for these. I don't find them that often, but they do sell incredibly well, and they will sell around 30. Some go for higher, 50, 60, depending on the brand. This one was the box was a little dinged up. The wooden box that it's in, the system is in, was pretty dinged up. So I think I could have gotten more for it if it was in better condition. But $35 is still pretty good. So still not a bad item. And it's not glass or anything, so it's easy to ship, easy to all that. So really cool piece. Definitely something to be on the lookout for. be on the lookout for. Okay. Now, next item I'm including here are these white noise machines. I periodically show these here because I find them all the time. And they generally go between $15 to $20, somewhere in that range. Really great items. They ship really well. They just go in a little box, usually about 3 pounds. And they just sell consistently. They sell consistently at this price point. Not other white noise machines don't really do that well. If you look out for the Marpack, some of them will say like yoga sleep on them. I believe they're all by the same company, and they do incredibly well. They sell, like I said, they sell all the time. So you want to get them for around $2, $3 might be a little high, $5 might be pushing it. You can still make money on it at $5. But I'd like to get them below that, like around the $2 is cool. At the flea market, I can generally find it for $2. I can find them around $3 to $4 at the Goodwill, sometimes less. But they're usually quick sellers. They sell, they just move. So really cool. We're not getting rich off of it, but it definitely adds to our overall what we're making on the day. Okay, next item. I believe I featured a companion item to this, a little vase. The Squaw Valley Winter Olympics. I had a vase that sold almost immediately after listing it. This one here took a little bit longer, took a few weeks, but it still sold for almost $40 for a little tiny ashtray. It's really cool. It's, Squaw Valley. A lot of the local, I don't know about other states, other ski resorts in other states, but I sell a lot of ski resort stuff from California. Ski or snowboarding, I should say. I was a snowboarder back in the day. But and I visited all these places here in California. I've been to all the different resorts, and I don't collect anything from there, but I do find it and I do resell it. The pins, from these vintage pins from a lot of these places around here, from Sierra Tahoe, Heavenly, Squaw Valley, obviously, Sugar Bowl, Boreal. I'm trying to remember all the other ones, but nonetheless, this stuff still sells. These ashtrays branded with the Olympics. I thought it would go closer to the Olympics, but it didn't. I got these while the Olympics were happening, so I thought maybe they would go during that time frame, but it didn't. But still a desirable item. Keep your eye out for them. I think they're kind of actually pretty rare, so might be kind of difficult. But if you see it, pick it up. $38.25. Okay, the next item is, this is actually a pocket watch, and I deal a lot in watches. I sell a lot of watches. I don't really do the high-end watches. Pretty much your quartz, your battery-operated watches. I sell a lot of them all the time. One of my top-performing categories. The reason why I'm featuring this one here is because this is branded Final Fantasy, so the video game Final Fantasy. There's a ton of Final Fantasy games that they made, and some of them, a lot of them actually do have collector's editions, and this was a part of a collector's edition, and it was just a pocket watch. It's very cheap. It's not, if this was not branded Final Fantasy, and one of the giveaways, because if you don't know the symbol that's on the front, one of the giveaways on the back, it actually has Square Enix on the back, which is either the developer or the publisher. I forget which one it is exactly, but that was the giveaway, that it was a gaming merchandise. And otherwise, it's a cheap watch. If it wasn't branded any of that, I would not pick this up. I think the face of the face of the watch is actually paper, so it's pretty cheap. But it's still sold for $35 because it's associated with Final Fantasy. Keep your eye out for this stuff. Anything gaming related, gaming merchandise. Every time I find the little gaming statues that come with a lot of special editions. The one that was really cool that I sold was from BioShock, which was really cool. It was, I forget what the name of the actual character was, or the name of the they weren't really villains. They were, giant mechanical deep sea looking creatures, I guess, that would attack you in the game. And they were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they were actually beatable. I think you just had to avoid them. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I played BioShock. Is it BioShock? Am I thinking of the right game? Let me just make sure. that I am thinking of the right game here. It's been a long time. I played the original, and I never played. I didn't play any of the sequels, but I played the original. The original was really good. Yeah, BioShock. It was 2007, first person shooter. So, yeah, really really cool. Okay. Then the next item is Hobo International Hobo purses. Be on the lookout for these. I've talked about, I don't always talk about, but I have talked about the leather ones. The leather ones are really soft. Kind of the dead giveaway that it is a hobo is the fact of the leather. The leather is really soft, nice, good quality, and you pick it up, you can feel it, then you pick it up, you look inside, you see it's hobo. This was actually a nylon bag, so more of your travel, and if you opened it up, it had a bunch of organization on the inside for pens, cards, whatever. Really cool. I think it's more geared towards travel security. The other brand that does, they're really nice bags, Travel On, I believe. Really nice bags. They just don't sell that well. They have really great like security features and cut if you try to cut it with a knife or something like that. This is of similar quality, but it's Hobo branded, and therefore we got some good money for it. So keep your eye out for Hobo International, or just Hobo in general, I should say. They do really, really well. Okay. I think that was 6. I'm pretty sure that was 6 items. I don't remember with the new format now because I'm out of routine. And when I'm out of routine, I got to do it a few times until it becomes a routine. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you guys think of my comments earlier. What did I talk about earlier yesterday? What was it? Yesterday I was talking about sourcing. So let me know your guys' thoughts on sourcing, and let me know what you guys think is the most important aspect as far as reselling goes, and reselling on eBay, because that's what we talk about here is eBay. And comment down below, hit the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, bell notification. And that's it. We'll see you in the next video.